Welcome to Around the Globe. Today's topic is 5 of the worst cars ever made. Not all cars are created equal. While some vehicles have achieved legendary status, such as the Ford Mustang or the top-selling Toyota Corolla, others have not lived up to expectations. In this list, we'll highlight 10 automobiles that are considered to be some of the worst ever produced. Number 6. Ford Pinto. This is one of the worst cars ever that you may have heard about due to its unfortunate tendency to burst into flames after a collision. Produced by Ford from 1971 through 1980, it otherwise isn't a bad car. It was quite affordable and small, with 2 doors and a hatchback. Unfortunately, the placement of the fuel tank means that the car can catch fire after a rear-end collision. It became a PR nightmare for Ford, which reportedly knew about the problem but decided that the cost of fixing the issue wasn't worth it compared to potential payouts to the victims. Ford eventually issued recalls for the Pinto in order to fit them with a protective shield, and the company now has an improved safety record. We do recommend, however, that if you see a Ford Pinto on the used lot, steer clear. Number 5. SsangYong Rodius. Produced by Korean firm SsangYong from 2005 through 2013, the Rodius makes the list for its awkward lines and plotting engine. According to the manufacturer, the look of the Rodius was inspired by luxury yachts, but I certainly don't see it. The front looks like a standard early 2000s car, but the back is best described as awkward. The line of the door frame drops, but the roof continues straight to the back of the car. It looks both rounded and boxy at the same time. SsangYong developed the Rodius to add a spacious vehicle to its lineup, and it did succeed in that regard. The Rodius seats 7, but hopefully they don't need to go anywhere fast. The vehicle is outfitted with a 2.7-liter Mercedes diesel engine. 0 to 62 miles per hour takes around 14 seconds. Buyers of the Rodius faced massive depreciation, with all versions losing more than 75% of their value after 3 years. Number 4. Pontiac Aztek. Would it be a worst cars list without the Pontiac Aztek? We think not. Manufactured from 2001 through 2005, this car makes the list because it's one of the ugliest vehicles ever to grace America's highways. It also helped kill the Pontiac brand. The Aztek was meant to both appeal to young people and serve as a practical family car for the slightly older generation. Fun, stylish, and cooler than a minivan. The concept is sound, but this was a clunky crossover that no one wanted. It wasn't just the awkward rear end and all that gray plastic that turned off buyers. The crossover SUV was just taking off, and yet the Aztek's short hood, boxy shape, and small wheels gave it the look and feel of a minivan. Buyers instead went for the Hyundai Santa Fe or the Toyota Highlander, which were of similar size and much more attractive. Or they just bought a minivan. Pontiac went out of business 5 years after the demise of this atrocity. Number 3. Chevrolet SSR. The Chevrolet SSR was GM's crack at the early aughts retro movement that saw cars like the Plymouth Prowler, the 2008 Dodge Charger, and the new Ford Thunderbird. While the Charger and the Thunderbird aren't bad looking, the SSR is an unusual pickup truck, convertible combo that really didn't work. Produced from 2003 through 2006, only about 24,000 units were sold, fewer than 10,000 annually. The SSR has a retractable hardtop and initially boasted a 5.3-liter V8 engine with 300 horsepower, going from 0 to 60 miles per hour in less than 8 seconds. It was upgraded in its final production year with a 6.0-liter V8 engine with 390 horsepower that could accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in about 5.3 seconds. Ultimately, those aren't bad stats, and I think this was a car that was either behind or ahead of its time. The public just wasn't interested. Number 2. Suzuki X90. The rather bizarre-looking Suzuki X90, produced from 1995 through 1997, reminds me of a toy car your mom might have bought to go along with your Barbie doll. Not only is it small and ugly, but it's difficult to tell which end is the front and which end is the back. It does have a removable target top roof so that Barbie or the driver can enjoy the wind in their hair. Described by Suzuki as an SUV, the 2-seater does boast the height of a sport utility vehicle. It has a 1.6-liter 4-cylinder with just 94 horsepower and was available with rear or 4-wheel drive. It's not surprising that Suzuki only managed to sell about 7,000 of them in the US. Number 1. Hummer H2. In 2002, General Motors introduced the Hummer H2 to the world, and most of the world went no thanks. This scaled-down version of the civilian Hummer is still a massive hunk of metal that weighed in at over 6,600 pounds. The H2 was produced through 2009, and despite its unattractive design, there were some aspects that we liked. Inside, leather was standard. There was seating for 5 and the Behemoth has an optional third row that increased seating capacity to 7. The 2009 model boasted a 6.2-liter V8 with 393 horsepower, which was plenty of oomph to get this beast moving. It also had good off-road capability and could tow up to 8,200 pounds. That being said, there were and are plenty of SUVs that could match or exceed the H2's capabilities and look a fair sight better while doing so. The biggest drawback of the Hummer H2 was its fuel efficiency, or rather, its lack thereof. Because it's classified as heavy-duty vehicle, the EPA did not perform fuel economy tests on the H2. However, one critic recorded about 10 miles per gallon, which is simply atrocious. Thank you for watching this video produced by the clever producer Mr. Wonderful. We will publish these videos every single day. Please subscribe to this channel to receive many more videos about the globe. This is Around the Globe.